historically, across all different tournaments and all different regions, they can be incredibly difficult to fight your way through. So for Fury, I guess it's must-win to an extent, but it should be a win when you look at VRX's performances last week.
So into Bank we go for what is essentially a very important game for Fury. For VRX, an opportunity, of course, what maybe feels like against a weakened Fury team. I don't want to say weakened, but they're off a loss. They're off a bad loss. Maybe mentally not all there. Ying gets banned out. VRX will take off the Habana here. They will be attacking first here on Bank. Fury defending. For VRX, technically, they don't have an actual win yet, Guds, but they do get the forfeit win, as has probably been mentioned time and time over today on the broadcast with wasted potential. So they do have 3 points already calculated, but they haven't actually got themselves a win in-game yet. This is their chance to do so against Fury.
And admittedly, they did have a pretty rough fixture to kick things off. Their debut game over in that first play day was against Bleed, a 2-7 loss to them, and then unfortunately they also took on Elevate, a 3-7 loss there as well, so only able to scrap 5 rounds in the first week, and only playing 1 game here this evening. They would be expecting for a better performance, but I guess they're rolling into Fury, right? So arguably, they have gotten the 3 most difficult opponents to kick off Stage 1, so it's a bit of a rough ride, bit of a trial by fire. But the only way you improve is by versing more challenging opponents and learning and growing from that experience. So let's see what they've learned perhaps maybe in that first week that they can transfer into this game. And again, Fury don't look great tonight, and I'm sure VRX are watching that game quite intently, and that will build some confidence within the roster that they might be able to take on Fury quite competitively here in this head-to-head.
But how much of it is maybe just a one-off? Is there an opportunity for Fury that it's like, okay, they had a bad game, it's a best of 1, anything can happen in a best of 1. We always say that, especially when we talk about underdog games and teams that maybe are not as favored against some of the better teams. We say the best opportunity is in a best of 1. And if you just get them on a bit of an off night or an off game and they're just not quite synergizing or clicking, then you can get that win, you can cause that upset more than any other format really that we have. And obviously I do wonder if that's just a factor of it. Did Fury just sort of caught off guard, bit of a lackluster game, didn't bring 110%. It might be the wake-up call needed as they now take on VRX to just sort of buckle in, keep their heads focused, come into this game and treat it like a really, really important match, one that it realistically is. Defending first, Locker CCTV in the opening round, and it's Crit J up above top square on the Solus, trying to get a bit of cheeky intel from the janitor position to see where this entry is going to come from VRX.
And just very quickly going over that ban phase, very standard here for Bank, Habana and Kai, both expected bans due to the heavy hatch nature, particularly of that basement objective. Ying, very strong on execute, heavy objectives on this particular map, and Valk, a very universal ban that we're seeing globally at the moment. But Solus is in play. Rams though, has a read. Oh, doesn't land the shots though. Crit J. Aggressive over towards Janitor, now able to escape, can scan for any additional information, feels safe, pushes forward over towards top square. There are players on the balcony, diffuser in hand, but it's Strike to fight back, and now it's a 4v4.
Have you ever seen 3 drones remaining at 2-minute mark, guys? I think VRX are going for a record here. Credit to Fury for being able to deal with these drones and deny this information, but that is incredible. 2 minutes, down to 3 drones left, and now you force Rams. Obviously 1 for 1 though, so you do get rid of the Solus. It had a large impact in dealing with some of those drones as well. DG man peeks out. Love the hold, obviously over towards open area staff. We see it with the castle on this site. It has become a bit of a staple over the last 6 months or so. Fury doing it well. 90 seconds left. Obviously very difficult for VRX to get a whole lot of intel and clearing out these players. But they do keep finding the odd pick. I mean, credit to them. Fury have set up well, they've got good position, but VRX just keep getting one here or there. Killer's pushing straight into Starfter, might get another, a couple of goo mines in his way. BG Man goes for the contact, he loses it, and suddenly VRX have got a player advantage with a minute left.
Yeah, that strategy really hinging on the hatch drop. BG Man, they're aggressive, and so is like Colas, both punished accordingly. They're just I9. Killer's up above, and I9 with info on site. The team now can relay that. An unfortunate disconnect, of course, here for Fury, but still a very sloppy round, particularly on this top floor. Not wasting as much time as they would have liked. Killers needs to trade, but he's delayed. Still up above. We'll send those concussions down below. Shots fired either way, and I9 caught.
Wow.
Stuck on the shield. An unfortunate round there for Fury, and some very sloppy signs, concerning signs, perhaps some ripples from that first game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to keep referencing that really, because that's all we've kind of got in terms of the sample size of today's form for Fury. But you know, you lose to Devil Dog, and now you're taking over.
VRX though, obviously credit to them, played it well. Back in the game now. Technical pause has concluded. Top 4 we go. Tricky site this one, but the castle is in tow, which does alleviate some of the pressure, particularly from the crossfires on the rappel. Trying to build some confidence here. If they can kickstart a round win on this top 4, I think they'll be in a much better position after what was a bit of a disastrous first round.
10 seconds to go.
I'm still concerned that you can't just give up on like the CCTV straight away. I'm not
5 seconds to go.
opposed to it. I don't want to sit back and say, okay, well, I disagree with this decision. I still just find it as a bit of a defeatist attitude. But again, I also go back and as I said before, I think that Fury did everything right. Yeah, they still lost a round, so maybe it's the right move to just sort of move away from that and commit to CEO exec here for the second round. Obviously, top square is going to be an area of concern. Because of that Ossa, that's going to probably be the entry point for VRX. If we get banned out, when we come to bank bars, it is usually an operator that does kind of enter the ban pool more than pretty much any other map has made its way through. So if you choose a site like this, you've got to be aware top square control is vital. And to be fair, you know, you bring the Echo in for that. I think a really good job with the Yokai drone can deny regardless of the Talon shield. You've got the castle barricades and dealing with a bit of the rappel game. So I think Fury's set up for it, and we'll see if it plays out that they are actually ready for that awesome play.
PG man though, he's using them now currently on the Kanto wall to do his best in denying that entry, but once the line of sight's established, it's already had its impact on the side of the attack. So impact grenades will have very limited effect because it's not like you're trying to vault or maneuver your way through that wall, of course. So an interesting decision, and indicative that Fury don't know that there's an Ossa on the board yet, or if they do know, not reacting probably appropriately at this point, because now it's going to be very difficult to deny that play. Dark needs to get himself. What a engagement, messy. But Rams falls. Fury now in it.
Yeah, 3 drones again, so minute 15 down to 3 drones, so really heavy into their drone play. But, you know, credit to Fury, they're on top of sort of stomping that out. Back over towards stock. Obviously keeping in mind the big win condition this round for VRX is really going to come through that Ossa in, to a degree, ace with the Selmas, of course, opening up that hard wall. 50 seconds left though. He's just trying to do what he can on the rappel, but this is where the castle barricades obviously can be super annoying. Denies a lot of information. Richard is still sitting in janitor. Not a whole lot of top square presence until just now. Fury are really getting going. They've pretty much just made this hallway impenetrable. Peter makes his way up top, main stands, finds the kill. Striker as well, 2 versus 3. Not the conventional method for an ace and an Ossa, and a 2 versus 3 to find the positions that they're in, but it was somewhat working in bringing the round back until just then, until just now. Fury on the board here on bank. They take the second round of this one.
Yeah, strange one there for VRX. Perhaps they're seeing something that we didn't. They opted after the first kill did not go their way, that first engagement up main, to reposition the Ossa there to drop down and then ace through stock. Normally that combo, you would see them preparing over towards top square, open up the right wall, get in, Talon shoot down, plant behind it. And again, with only a single impact grenade left in the late round there for Fury, that would have been quite a challenging plant denial for the defense. So both teams really making critical mistakes in these opening rounds that have proved costly. We'll see if that stabilizes out throughout this match over the open area here for round number 3. Castle still in play, as Army as well in the fray. So there's going to be plenty of utility for VRX to continue to deal with. And that's not the only issue they're having. Again, as you mentioned, drone economy, very weak. 3 drones left in the mid-round. I think that was cut down to 2, maybe even less later on in the piece. So something they're going to be watching and continuing to watch throughout this half.
10 seconds left.
Much better round though from Fury, right? A little bit more controlling in their approach in that round. They really had a decent advantage. they were able to maintain it, hold it. They didn't get traded. We didn't really see VRX do what they did in the opening round, where they were able to get the odd pick here or there, just keep themselves in the game and get the kills ticking over. 5-4 to 4-4, 4-3 to 3-3. That's what they were able to do in the opening round to give themselves a good position to win out the round. Over to open area staff now for the third round. And if you do win this, of course, then lock us CCTV to follow. Just trying to see how they're looking to pretty much organize themselves on the defense. Not a whole lot of presence down below. Everyone's archives, they've got a couple. Double stacking. Already top blue squares control. Sorry, top blue stairs, I should say. Hot square. No presence though from Fury down below to go for a flank over towards blue stairs. That typically being a very big win condition for the defenders. So we'll see if Fury do opt for that later in the round.
Double Nitro, single impact remaining to try and counter the Monty. Thought maybe Strike was going to get quite aggressive early on in this round, but elects to back off. Elsewhere, Fury not really under pressure from verticals, so that opens up the Archives win condition here for the defense. I can hear a skeleton key, so we might see a bit of action up above in a moment if Zis can be supported on this entry. Will be contested though, so needs to be careful, and like Colas is lurking up front, Janitor not immediately traded, Zis under a lot of pressure. Strike going for the plant, see what the Dark Nile is here from Fury. It's lacking, I think. Here's planted.
Yeah, no one could get over that. And they definitely were aware that Strike was in that position going to plan. Nitrocell from Lycolis does not land. Killers gets the kill. Strike eventually falls to the main. Wontang is gone down. Nice prone shot coming out. 9-9 will finish him off with the knife as well. Splat getting the plant down. Zist, though, from top square, finds the double kill. From a 1 versus 4, he now has a position to deny, but the castle barricade! Hell,
the Gon
did
6!
you see that? The Gon 6, though, couldn't hit the shot. Well, he did get the knock onto Dark, but he couldn't get the second. It was all 2 versus 1. So much happening there towards the end of that round.
Oh my god, almost clutching it out there. Zist lurking up above to try and make a play on the vert, and then his team decided to go for the plant. Fury lacking in denial. I assume the Yokais were either on cooldown or didn't have line of sight onto the planter. And then, of course, that valiant effort in the post, through top square, down to bot square, utilizing that Gon 6. And if that spray was just a little bit more to the right, that transfer, it would have been a very next win in the post. Not to be, though, Fury able to counter, defuse the kit. And this is a very chaotic, very messy game at the moment as we go back down to basement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree necessarily, but I think I've seen really good things from both teams as well. I mean, VRX have had a really good couple of rounds. You know, you get the plant down there in a pretty decent manner, right? So it's not like it's a last second, 20-second rush, try and get the plant down. Like, they felt like they had good presence and they were able to get the plant early into the round. Yeah, but then you lose 2 players instantly and suddenly it's a 1 versus 4. But then obviously Zist is able to make this sort of super heroic play from top square, get a double, drop down, suddenly got pressure back on for the counter defuse. So ultimately a pretty decent round, not gonna lie.
5 seconds to go.
For Fury though, at least able to salvage it. You know, you allow the plant, the Nitrocell doesn't kill the Montang straight away. Things aren't looking that great. It's a little bit hectic, but you still just kind of keep following through, get a couple of kills, 4 versus 1. You know, the last second barricade as well. I mean, that's just genius. Good game sense, doesn't panic, just utilizes the utility that got, force out the Gon 6. Entertaining round. We go back down to the basement though in the 4th. This is where, of course, Fury did succumb. Their one and only round so far. They had the extension up above, open area staff. They even had the Solus off the Janitor. Solus, Pulse, Lesion, Echo. That's a lot of information that can be gained.
And these entries are really tough for VRX. Again, 3 drones down early, so there's going to be a lack of pre-placed drones. And it's difficult to fault the attack. I mean, you've got Solus on the board, he's just going to be checking those common pre-placed positions anyway. So it is just a result of that operator being in play, not banned out. And it comes down to that mid part of the round where drones will be live droning those entries in with that information. And it looks like top square now should be pretty free real estate. They need to be careful though, the attack, BG man lurking down below on the pulse, and Crit J actually reaggressing up above, currently in Executive Lounge. Now CEO impact into Jan, shotgun whipped out, shots firing. And the wallbang in response, but Crit J just staying alive and wasting time.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
BG Man with the opening kill. And Crit J follows. Very important kill. Gets rid of the counter tower. Killers gets at least one back quickly. So it doesn't allow the 3 versus 5 to linger for too long into the round. Makes it a one-man advantage. Get rid of the pulse. BG Man struggling in this game. 0 and 4. Rams with a big fight in exec and finds the kill into Crit J. So you've dealt with both of the information roamers. The pulse, the soul is gone. You've lost 2 for it, but you've got 2 kills yourself with a minute left. There's some similarities, guys, to the opening round. There really is. The difference this time, killers, Rams, both low. A couple of body shots, and they will fall very quickly. I mean, at this point, even the goo mines are deadly for them. 45 seconds left. Big round. VRX, just to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Can they have themselves another round where they win lock of CCTV?
Yeah, and 2 gas canisters available for like Colas. Those would be very potent against the 2 players that are low. I9 on an island over towards Garage can play safe, can play for information, and feed that to the rest of the team. So VRX will probably need to go deep here. Don't have time and don't have the util to open up the server wall at all. No hard breach, of course. So 15 seconds. This is going to be a very, very tough attack.
Into red time. Like Colas, Gas Babe goes out. Doesn't have any more after that, but probably won't need any killers. Rams are both still so low. And even though you obviously have to try and stick it, the Yokai is just sitting there watching and saying you cannot get this. So it's a big round win for Fury. They go back to base, but this time they come away with a successful round. A lot cleaner. Again, didn't really do a whole lot different. The only thing different this time was they didn't employ the castle barricade set up above and the ascension over towards staff open area. That was it. But they still had the information roamers up above. They still got kills from that. It was still a 3 versus 3 going in towards the middle portion of the round. Just a little bit better at dealing with the clutch at the end of the game into red time. And I think VRX were just that tad slower in their approach towards the end of the round as well. 1-3 scoreline, and it's hard to say that it's not deserved. Fury definitely being the better team as the half has gone on.
Yeah, good Jay. One of the new additions to the roster, doing a great job there on the roam above. VRX struggling to shut them down inside of CEO, to multiple players with a lot of HP. And just the fact that he was able to chip them low and really waste quite a bit of time put VRX in a very, very awkward position in the late round. You combine that with the utility they had remaining and the win conditions were few and far between. Fury had a good read on that and closed it out quite confidently. And we now go back up above with the scoreline 3-1. Fury establishing a little bit of a lead now after a rocky start. All about just consolidating that now at the moment. Castle in play once more. VRX electing to bring the Ossa as well. Did not play it as we expected over towards that top square, right-hand side wall push to the north. Instead, they lost it early, dropped down the hatch, and again, it was always going to be very tricky, so we'll see what their approach is this time.
And it's good for Fury as well that they've been able to stabilize a little bit. The opening round was concerning off the back of losing their match earlier. There's those thoughts, those worries in the back of your mind a bit as to are those issues going to carry over here. But it really does kind of feel like they've just honed themselves in. There's the Gemini from Rams, so no entry into stock. G-Man still just covering this hallway position with the shield in play. Then one Rams now makes his way in anyway. Crit J from Janitor with a really nice angle, finding the kill. Diffuser still lingering outside top square. And BG Man now actually rotates over towards elevators, so giving up that hallway shield position. I mean, obviously you've got Crit J in the area, in the vicinity, along with Dark, but yeah, an interesting little rotate over towards Kanto instead of holding that hallway position.
I mean, they got away with it because there was no pressure top square, right? There is finally now, so the swing out Jan at least has been nullified, but the fact that it's allowed to take place in the first place was a little bit concerning. Obviously, lines of sight here, so it's not easy for the attack. And what? Okay, there was a kill. And another. So 2 versus 4. A response though, mounting.
Oh my.
VRX, Peter deep on said shield, but Strike is on lobby repel. So this is going to take a little bit of time, and Peter just needs to be patient and wait for this rotation.
Yeah, but this is again so strange. So you're bringing this lineup, but you're not attacking that top square wall with the ace. Also look to get the talent shield down, play off the repel, and basically make it impossible to get the counter defuse. Instead, they've got Strike opening up Kanto, Peter pushing hallway.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Spray from I9, and actually did get the down onto Peter, and Peter's not going to get brought back up. Strike dropping obviously from the skylight, top main stairs, makes a very grand entrance. Obviously could still technically push over, but it didn't matter. Gets caught, nice swing from elevators. Fury with it. That certainly was a little bit more messier though than it probably needed to be. It just kind of feels like, you know, I kind of look over at one point, there's no one in the hallway. You've got a talent shield top square facing the shield hallway. One player in stock, but, you know, at least in credit to Fury, it kind of felt like they were set up to allow that push. They were basically baiting them into the hallway, then swinging from elevators, swinging from long desk.
Yeah, certainly intriguing setup. VRX playing into it though quite nicely for Fury in the end, who despite losing a couple of picks, then again were able to consolidate. There was that break where Strike had to rotate again. He was all the way on that lobby repel, so it takes a significant amount of time to get on the roof, move your way over towards skylight, or drop down top square for instance. And in that time, Fury were just able to set themselves, make sure that had those entrances covered, and then won out the engagements. Over towards open area, the final round of the half. Fury looking good here. Similar lineup again. Heavy reliance on Castle throughout this half. Very next time, playing a bit tricky, I think, to deal with that and opening up some crossfires and some angles to cut down Fury and put them under a little bit more pressure. Repick onto Monty though. We did see that previously on this objective. Maybe not quite having as much of an impact as they would have liked. To sort of just tease that entrance in towards kitchen over towards bot square, but not too much else throughout the round. This is so much, but Fury didn't do too bad of a job dealing with it.
So an opportunity to have a 5-1 half for Fury presents itself. Open area staff. A job out from Peter, bottom of blue stairs. Drone game is still largely being the same for VRX. There is BG Man moving around staff, getting information with the cardiac sensor. Peter just hanging out, top blue. Strike on the Monte, diffuser in hand. BG Man spots a couple and decides to just fall back. Smart play, doesn't want to just overcommit. Does give up a little bit of positioning. Now, remember last time, guys, Strike was able to just push straight into staff, get an early plant down, but Crit J finds a kill onto Zists up above. So that is a big kill. Gets rid of the buck, gives Fury the advantage, and suddenly puts a lot of pressure top square.
Pressure mounting, but Crit J loves this CEO position. We did see it in one of the previous rounds, but elsewhere, Strike again going to go for the plan. Is it denied by Fury? Well, it is initially by the Yoko, so it's a slight improvement on last time. Crit J to activate it up above, not traded out.
Wow.
VRX slaughtered on this push, and now it's killers on an island over towards E-Box, and Fury have really cut this down at the knees.
Well, that's that pressure top square that I was referring to, right? You get that kill onto Zest, and suddenly there's no one above. And when there's no one above, when you're trying to push the bot square, open up the square wall and push into staff, but you know there's a player up above, I mean, it makes it so difficult. He just pushes in, gets it doubled. He's dropped 10 as well. Inside 6 rounds now for Crit J, so he's had a tremendous performance for Fury. And VRX have just had no answers. They've really started to fall apart here at the seams as this half has gone on. It's getting less and less competitive and pinged out on killers. So they know that he's going to be pushing in through electrical. Shot goes out. BG Man surely is the one to find this kill. Bit of help from Crit J. Just a matter of who really wants this kill. Surely BG Man doesn't lose it, and he does not. 5-1 at the half. A very significant lead for Fury And a good way to bounce back from their earlier loss today against Devil Dogs. This is much better from them.
Yeah, in that first round, it looked a little bit rocky, a little bit dicey. I was a little bit scared, but they certainly tightened up and really locked in the 5 rounds to follow. Crit J again up above, bit of a menace. Rams will be quite annoyed that he didn't hit that trade at the double door. That pillar providing nice protection, and yeah, Fury doing a good job. Elsewhere, keeping in mind that plant was going down, but denied successfully this time around. So no awkward post-plant time to navigate around for Fury, who now find themselves on the attack. A 4-round pick for them at the moment. And VRX still searching for their first genuine victory here in the league. They will get 3 points thanks to the forfeit from wasted potential, but still struggling to mount rounds against some of the stronger teams in the league, which is no real indictment on them. They don't quite have near as much experience. Not even, I guess, regionally, domestically. Never mind internationally, which Fury do. So this was always going to be a challenging matchup for them.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of look at the rest of the competition and try and see who can VRX realistically find a win from. Besides, obviously, their forfeit win. Maybe Champion. I think that's, I guess, on their level. Devil Dog suddenly now doesn't look as a similar proposition, do they? Now you've taken down Fury, I think you put a little bit more stock into Devil Dog suddenly. Obviously for VRX though, it will have to be the long wait. We'll have to go through the open qualifiers with this loss here. I just don't see it being feasible that they make top 3 and go directly to the last chance qualifiers. So it'll be the long way around for them. Unless they bring it back here on Bank and really cause a very surprise comeback upset. Dark pings out top blue squares. I've done that twice now. Top blue squares, top blue stairs from square.
Have you been talking for long? Is this your first cast?
No.
No.
Attackers have located a bomb.
How many casts have you done, do you think?
Too many.
Am I really that bad? Am I really that bad to cast with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, kitchen control here for Fury, but not complete control of the first floor. Strike over towards Towers, now droned out. Drone economy significantly better from Fury already here on their first attack in comparison to their opponents. VRX at this point, more often than not, only had 2, 3, maybe 4 drones left, but for Fury it's a slightly more handsome amount. Nitro flow out. Just a little bit of pressure. Strike, yeah, a little bit over aggressive for my liking, but Fury still win out the trade. A 4 versus 3, and now Rams trapped over towards main stairs, a long way away from sight, and now it's kills and assists.
It's not a bad play though for VRX to just get a bit aggressive on the defense and look to roam above.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
So it doesn't work, but I commend it. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just sit on site, be defensively minded in your approach in the second half, and just try and win out those scrappy 5v5s with 30 seconds left to push. The denial of server, obviously not going to be that easy now. Even though you still got the Echo and the Goyo, you're very critical operators in being able to deny. Dark just pushes through anyway. Killers over towards main stairs though, pushing through beepers. Strange that you're on a roam in 1 versus 4. And even prior to that, a 2 versus 4. Probably needed to be on site, helping out. Maybe you get a couple of kills when they try and push through server. Not to be, 6-1, and this one is turning into an absolute bloodbath on Bank.
Yeah, very one-sided at the moment here. Fury playing quite a good brand of Siege, and then putting on a little bit of a clinic. Bit hectic there, the trades to the mid-round, particularly through open areas. There were players still lurking around the likes of main stairs and towers as well, so that can be a frustrating crossfire to break, but Fury able to do so. And then we saw the Shift W on site from, I believe, Dark on the Yana. That well and truly confirmed the round of 1v4 retake on basement. Pretty much impossible. VRX are going to retry down below though. And Mayweather just elect to double up on this aggression offside, which I think is probably the play.
So a 5-round match point scenario for Fury, and it is Lockers CCTV again. Bring the cap can into it this time around with the smoke, Goyo. I mean, they've got the denial. Echo basically set up for it. Obviously, Rams on the Solus, you would imagine, is going to
10 seconds.
roam above. I honestly wouldn't mind if they just didn't play a 1-4 split, 4 down below. Just let Rams see if he can find 1 or 2, disrupt the attackers, force them to maybe buy
Attackers
some
must
time,
locate and defuse a bomb.
and let the other 4 down below play the stall game. Make it difficult to get that plant down. Don't have to overcommit. I mean, if you're going to have 2, it probably strikes the 1. And place those EDDs, and then you can just start roaming around if you want. The job's basically done. It's not like you're going to get more of them as the round continues. But Killers, Peter, Zists, they have to be in positions that they're not going to die early. They have to be able to utilize their utility late round to deny plan. And obviously, a lot of the focus has to be over towards this square side of the map. You know Fury's just going to repeat. Already got top square control. Strike's still running around. Over towards top banana stairs. I don't know why he's expecting someone to be on the rappel on a locker CCTV.
Because BG Man is there, and he's about to get the kill. Striker falls back. Just like this, in 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Come on, BG. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Oh no.
Just a bit of lag, just a bit of ping difference there. He eventually got it.
Oh jeez, don't say that, mate.
Ping difference from
Yeah, well,
me watching him, not between the players.
He was on the rappel. It did need to be checked. Fury's just doing everything right at the moment. The 2 roamers eliminated with ease. They only lost 1 in I-9 on the Ash anyway. So with 90 seconds left in this round, this match point round, Fury on the verge of gaining redemption after their earlier loss to Devil Dog. They have clean swept VRX here on Bank. It's been incredibly one-sided. Lycolis will get live droned by Dark, and not for long.
Patches open up now by the Sens with secondary hard breach. Diffuser in hand, so I don't know if Lycolis want to juggle that to somebody else so that he can play the Sense walls late round and provide that coverage. 50 seconds though, so the decision needs to be made quickly, and it has been. Dark will take said diffuser. BG Man catching one off guard. That was Killers, who found a pick for himself, but that means Fury retain their advantage into this final 30 seconds.
Oh, Dark with a wonderful nade to get rid of Zists. So Peter's the last one alive. He's got 1 gas baby to 1 versus 3. 25 seconds remaining. Dark will get the diffuser down successfully. Unfortunately for VRX, it's all just been a little bit too difficult towards the end of this game. 6-1 will likely turn into 7-1 from here. BG Man retreating over to Garage, gets himself a lovely angle and finishes off basically what he started earlier on the rappel. It's a clean effort.